It doesn't do any damage. No, in Heroic, Mythic, Mythic 2, Mythic 3, Mythic 4, Mythic 5, Mythic 6, it might not do any damage. It might even be a 0 thing. Mythic 9, Mythic 10, you might get your shit fucked. It's easy. Now what? Oh, F. Oh, that's going in the video. Well done. Good Sunday to you all, wonderful people. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who did what we asked, which was send in your ideas for things you would like me to demonstrate, show off, have fun with on the TDP by tweeting us at #PreachTDP with your suggestions, ideas. We got hundreds of them. Keep them coming, man, because this is where we're going to be picking winners from for our little competitions and giveaways we have here. So looking through them all, as I said, in our hundreds, there was a big theme across a lot of them that's worth tackling, which is how the fuck do you keep track of all the stuff that happens in Mythic Plus with so much emphasis placed in BFA on all the different mechanics of individual pieces of trash? It's a good question. It's a good question because certainly older players or more experienced players don't find it as big a deal as it actually is. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. If you're not used to a ton of mechanics, like it's all good as Mythic Raiders being used to an absolute butt munch amount of mechanics going on. But if you're getting into this kind of world, it can be like, overwhelming. And certainly with Legion stuff, it was a little bit easier, a little bit less complex in dealing with those things. So that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm going to pick Randy Nerd. Randy Nerd. I will be following you on Twitter, Randy Nerd, and we will be giving you the BFA Collector's Edition. So watch out for that follow, Randy Nerd, and if you don't reply within a couple of days, we'll pick someone else who basically had the same request. So Randy Nerd, this is yours. This is on its way to you. Today I'm going to be giving away this thing. This is a bag that Blizzard sent me. Very cool. So if I actually went to a wedding in Holland, as some of you know, a couple of weeks ago, where somebody was wearing this, actually, to the wedding. It was very useful. But if a bag isn't something you wear on a day-to-day basis, don't worry, it's got some cool stuff. So if you're just a collector of WoW stuff, it also comes with, so don't worry, a health potion. Right? It comes with a health potion inside there. And of course, a health potion always must go along with a healing, a mana potion. So it comes with those inside there as well. So if you just like collecting WoW or Blizzard stuff, don't worry about it. It's not something I expect you to wear on a day-to-day basis. I believe there is another, I can check, 'cause it's got an alliance badge on it, but I think that's Velcro. You can actually remove that. And I think there's a Horde one inside as well. So you can pick your faction for whatever you're doing. So keep tweeting in #PreachTDP for things you like to show off. Lots of cool, silly things there as well. I thought that was very nice of you. So what are we doing? We're going to be doing a 10 or an 11 freehold. We have one of the worst weeks for Mythic Plus ever, so it should be a lot of fun, even if it all goes to shit. These are a bunch of my friends from different guilds. We've got Shade, who's raiding in security, Cloggy and Fingal, who are in my guild, and Zara from Yoshi City. I believe every one of these guys have done Mythic Gahoons, but not really played together. Certainly not optimal set. We're going to be taking a Shadow Priest, which should be very interesting for you. We have a Moonkin and, of course, a Warlock. So we have a huge combination of specs considered good, specs considered bad. I'm going to be healing this one, and for that reason, how do you not get overwhelmed? Well, this is the theme of today's TDP. I'm hoping I can... I'm hoping I can do it justice. So let's start with this. Yes, BFA dungeons do have an absolutely huge amount of mechanics going on. Each of these mobs has a name, a Corsair, we've got another Corsair, and a Crackshot, we've got Bone Saws, all kinds of things going on that are difficult to manage if you're not learning the dungeons properly. And one of the big issues with the learning curve in WoW right now is, of course, that you'll be thrown in probably at the start, like a Mythic 6 or 7, something like that, which is the only place you're going to get relevant upgrades. The only place you're going to get relevant upgrades. Stone, bro. I do have the guys in my ear, by the way. These at this level, it's nice to have some communication as to what's going on. So I'm just going to tell the lads this. I am recording a TDP, by the way, but I can hear you guys and I will reply. All right? They're all nervous now. They're all nervous now because I just told them they are on camera. So You are playing a Shadow Priest, Fingal. I'm sure the guys will be very interested to see how you perform. So now the Shadow Priest is nervous as well. Okay, so how do we do this? Mythic Zero is actually the best place to do it, but I thought if I jump into a Mythic Zero, you guys would be a little pissed. Because it's not very, you know, it's not higher level content. You guys like seeing some high level content. So hopefully I won't do you any injustice here. I'm not the best healer. I'm not the best healer as you guys have seen in the past, but I'm not terrible either. I'm definitely not the worst healer. So I think we're going to do our standard tree farm and get things going. So how do we get overwhelming? How do we stop getting overwhelmed? Well, we go into a place like Mythic Zero or even Heroic is a great place to start. A lot of the guys who sent in were actually tanks. But we had access to Shade. He's one of the best tanks in the world. Raid tanks. So I thought I'd heal because I can kind of point things out and see what's going on and how I'm going to learn. Because, interestingly enough, from my perspective, as a healer, I don't really know what I'm waiting for in this dungeon at this difficulty. So we've got explosives going to be happening, all kinds of things. I don't know if we're going to use any skips. It doesn't look like it, so I'm just going to get started. So what we do is we watch what's happening. So obviously we've got extra things like explosives and, of course, infested in this dungeon. But that doesn't help us, really. That doesn't help what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is figure out what the mobs do as standard. What is their standard contribution? Now you can see here, look at this, Enrage. Okay? Enrage is really important to know that it's happening, because Enrage will screw you up pretty readily. Enrage is a very dangerous thing. So I created, for me, an add-on in Weak Auras that tells me when a mob's enraged. You can see it pops up above their head when it actually happens. And the reason I did that is for the same reason you guys are contacting me. I often don't have time to individually pay lots of attention to what's going on, because there's too much going on. So the way we deal with that, first and foremost, is try and make it as easy as possible. We really do our best to make that happen. And it's such an important thing to do. If it's going to be difficult, okay, let's make it as easy as possible. And in having a simple tracker, that all I did there, basically, is nothing complex, and you can download this add-on, by the way. It's all on the Weak Aura website, wa.io, Wago. I call it Wago, and most people know what I'm talking about when I say Wago. It usually gets found that way. But on there, well, we got Kahunis. Let's help with these Kahunis as much as we can. And explosives. Let's knock them down. The way I deal with it is making it as easy as possible. I see no shame in this. It's very different from a rotation helper, but let's face facts. Like, what am I taking in right now? And this is why you guys will struggle too. I'm taking in damage going onto the party. A lot of environmental effects being thrown around, right? All this is happening at the same time, so if we can get an add-on that'll make that real easy to just deal with, let's do that. Like, what the hell? What, am I going to be embarrassed? No. Like, this is all making my life easier. But now we've also learnt something else. We've learnt that the Corsairs, I believe it's the Corsairs, and we'll double check that in a second, that the Corsairs, good morning, the Corsairs actually enrage. So now, I'm ready for it, and I'm looking and ready to go, because as a Druid, particularly, I can remove enrage. I can make it go away, as can Cloggy. So the enrages we saw earlier that were being removed aren't being removed by me, they're being removed by another Druid who is probably using the exact same add-on ever. Look at the Shadow Priest damage, by the way. So big, so big. We're learning at the same time, because now we have an add-on telling us what's happening. You can see it with normal unit frames as well. There's no doubt about that. You can just use a normal... Oh, I think that just brought me out of stealth. It did. I think we're making a play here. He's going to try and drag these all the way through. Yeah. There was no communication there. It was expected to know. We'll talk about skips at a later date. But skips are something you'll have to get used to. Be very careful when you're doing the skip, by the way. I have done the skip in the past, so I was somewhat ready for it. Oh, explosives. Oh, they got them. Good, good, good. I'll just make sure everyone's fine. Yeah, everyone looks good. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Oh, our tank's not good, though. Let's give him an iron back. Yeah, we're good. Okay, fine. Always a little dangerous on skips. I like skips. I do like skips. They're fun. But you do have to be careful. And then we're going to pull this trash down here, which will allow us to deal with the boss. Get our nice stuff rest down. So I did something at the beginning that I hope you picked up on, which is I looked at the names of the mobs and what they're doing. That's crucial. That's crucial because while we are dealing with extra mechanics like... you know, we're dealing with explosives and infested and all this kind of stuff. That's not going to help you in the base dungeon. It doesn't. There's the enrage. You see it? There it is. Let's remove one. And maybe Clog will remove the other one, but I'll target it just in case he can't. That's fine. Let's heal the tank. Try and get rid of that enrage. Got rid of it. Good. Love it when things pop up like that so you can see what's going on. I got you, bro. Don't worry. Yeah, don't doubt me, dude. He's memeing me. Okay, so learning the names of the mobs. And this is why Mythic Zero and Heroic are actually great, because the mobs do the same things. They'll do them in a way that doesn't cause you any harm, right? Like, pretty much Heroic and stuff are designed in that respect. So you can learn. They're there to learn. So a lot of people claim, like, Mythic Zero, Mythic whatever, just aren't worthwhile. That is bullshit to the extreme. You get what out of it, you get out of the content what you want to get out of it. If you want to learn what things do, bosses are generally very easy, because bosses have, like, a very, very few mechanics. But if you go into a Heroic just thinking, oh, I'm just going to AoE this down, and then you get to a Mythic Plus, and you're like, I don't know what happens here. I have no idea. Go into a Heroic. Go into that content. Pay attention to what's going on. And often it's things that like, oh, well, that doesn't do a lot of damage. Such a stupid attitude to take away. Oh, I should have been paying attention there. I was talking, dude. I should have not been hit by that, but I'll take it. Stupid bird. There we go. We'll get out of the way. Take this revitalizing brew. Whee! See, these are things you're looking around for and making advantage of. Did some of you not know that there was a revitalizing brew there, I wonder? I bet there were. I bet there were. It makes me sad. It makes me super, super sad, guys, when people are burning through content and then getting stuck because everything you need to know is in there. But the best attitude you can have is, okay, this thing does enrage. But a really stupid way of thinking about it is it doesn't do any damage. No, in Heroic, Mythic, Mythic 2, Mythic 3, Mythic 4, Mythic 5, Mythic 6, it might not do any damage. It might even be a 0 thing. Mythic 9, Mythic 10, you might get your shit fucked, right? You might be stuck right in the pooper. And that's because you underestimated that these, or you didn't take into account what Blizzard's trying to do here, which is trying to say, this is a thing that's happening. We're just showing you that it happens. That's all we're doing. We're just showing you that it happens. I'm doing nothing more, nothing less. We're just showing you that it happens. Now you know it happens. Cool. Now we can deal with it in a proper way. So then we're going to move around the dungeon like we're doing now. And you can see the names of the mobs have changed. Now we're dealing with Duelist. We're dealing with Oarsman. What does this Oarsman do? Oh, he's casting something. Now, it is a decent group, so it is being interrupted. But you'll start seeing that the Oarsman is casting things, so you can keep on top of these explosives while we're here and heal all the dudes. I'm definitely going to let someone die by chit-chatting, but that's okay. It's nature of the beast. The guys know exactly what I'm doing here. Let's see if I can deal with these. I believe explosives were nerfed. Alright, we've got rats coming. Ah, the Ringo Piso. Fucking love that from our tank. See, he's aware of this patrol coming in. Certainly for the tanks who contact me saying, how do you stop getting overwhelmed? Just pay attention to what's going on. Always take in your environment. So I want to do another one where I'm actually tanking. But in that one thing I do want to focus on is the idea of threat capping. So if you're a tank watching this saying, well, I'm not a healer, Mike, so it's very different for me because I'm stuck in there and I'm dealing with all these things. I'm playing a healer to kind of show you that from a range perspective, you can see all these different things going on, right? But I'm still monitoring a huge amount of information from the group to the ads to the conversation me and you are having right now. But as a tank, you have this awesome ability to lead the group, right? Are we not clicking the dude? Are we not clicking the dude for the caps? No reply. He wants to do these first. Fair enough. I'll take that. If he wants to do that, that's what we'll do. Rat trap. See all the enrages pop up? Let's get rid of one. Only momentarily. It doesn't matter. Still get rid of it. That enrage could be the difference between life and death in terms of damage. It really can. But we also saw this. We saw him cast something with traps, and then guess what appeared next to me? A trap. A lot of people won't notice this. So the next great tip for not getting overwhelmed is every time a mob casts something, rat traps. What is that? Oh, shit. There it is, right? And this is what people don't notice. You'll see people run into traps all the time. And that's the way you can go, huh? What is rat traps? And look around instantly. Take your eye off the ball for a second. I was talking about threat capping a while ago. Is your job as the tank is to... I imagine if I asked a lot of weaker players, I think that's a fair thing to say, weaker players, what is a tank's job? Okay? Yeah, I didn't click either. What are they clicking? This guy? Oh, now we have the captain's hat. Okay, good. They clicked already. I didn't notice that. You see the way I didn't notice that? Look what I just did, actually. Oh, explosives. Look what I just did. Something happened, and the guys, one of the guys said, hey, I didn't click. I just watched what he was doing. Right? Now, you're going to say, well, I play in PUG, so we don't have voice communications. Well, one, you can have voice communications, but I do take your point. I'm not a moron. Look what other people are doing. If you see people, like, certainly if you see, like, 2 or 3 people wander off and do something, what are they doing? And check their buffs. What could they possibly be doing right now? And then you think about it, and then you can ask. I can't even stress to you enough how important... I've got the drunk effect on, so you're good. Asking questions. I'll tell you what the worst question to ask is if you're overwhelmed in dungeons and you're not sure what's going on. Does everybody know what to do here? What a fucking moronic question. Absolutely just the worst. Really is the absolute worst question. Because occasionally you'll get somebody who will answer that question. Occasionally you'll get somebody who will answer that question. Most people don't want to look like idiots. So they're not going to say anything. Right? They're not going to say anything. Instead, you take the initiative. And you say, what does this do here? Okay. Is there anything I need to be aware of? Now, that's a dangerous one as well. Often that comes along with this answer, which sucks. Oh, tanks don't do anything. Bullshit. Tanks, DPS, all have a major role to play. Healers need to be aware of stuff. Ask specifically. So on stream, I try and make a point of this is, if there's something happening and I'm not sure why, I will instantly ask the group, why are we doing this? What does this do? Because then there is tons of mechanics in Mythic Plus that won't be immediately obvious, that people find out over time. And when they know it, there's a definite ego that comes with a lot of people where they expect everyone else to know it because they know it, right? You guys will have encountered that so many times, I'm sure. Let's put an iron bark on the tank here, just make sure everything's good. Is this tyrannical? Fortified, okay. I was going to say, this was... I did this, I think, last week, and it was hell on earth, this fight. But this isn't too bad at all. This isn't too bad at all. I'm just going to keep my dots rolling. Ask! Ask! It's okay to be wrong. I can't stress this enough. It is absolutely okay to be wrong. I don't understand... I mean, I do somewhat understand. That's the wrong way to say this. I dislike the need to be right all the time. And it's one of the most annoying things I read about myself. It's very smug. See the Enrage appear then? Just spotted it. So now we know there's an Enrager in here somewhere, right? And we also have this effect. See, everything that's going on, you should be paying attention to. I'm getting sucked in by something. Okay. Now, my habit is to instantly move away, because I've dealt with this mechanic several times. But you now know, in this pack of Scrappers and Harpooners, somebody's pulling me in. Who's likely to pull you in when there's a mob's called Scrappers and Harpooners? Right? Often the name... Let's move that in rage. Often the name gives away what this thing does. Very, very often the name of the enemy will give away what it does. So here we have a Harpooner. We got a lot of explosives as well. Let's try and get rid of those. Just got it. There's a Harpooner. A Knuckle Duster. Ooh. Well, he's a boulder throw. So a crusher, guess what he's going to do? Big fucking surprise. He's going to try and crush you. A harpooner is going to be dragging you in. And this is where you see this overlap of trash mechanics that people get overwhelmed with. This is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. We've got something that's trying to crush you on the floor and throw boulders at you, and another mob trying to drag you in. And now we've got this Knuckle Duster who seems to be casting some sort of enrage, and I know it's a fixate. Whoa. Steady. Don't make me heal, dude. I'm trying to talk. Explosives are the tank job. I remember saying that once. Yeah, it's your job. Don't complain about doing your job. But the names are a huge giveaway, and it surprises people sometimes when we go into new content, because I'm trying to teach you to be able to tackle any new content at all and be comfortable in it. It shouldn't matter about learning the specific dungeon. That comes later. What you want to be able to do as a player is walk into any content that Blizzard throws at you. And it's difficult, I know, because for the most part, the huge amount of players walk into content, see the shattering bell, oh, it's being silenced and interrupted. And that's because they figured out it's a fixate, it's dangerous, there's the harpooner dragging me in, right? Ready for it. So what I'm trying to say overall is, if you understand what they do and you recognize the name, this is a harpooner. What's he likely to do? What is a knuckle duster likely to do? Well, knuckle dusting indicates he's got some sort of fist attack. Something very, if he's a knuckle duster, very melee strong. That's what that indicates to me. And then you go, okay, this guy's likely to do something that's like a vicious attack that's relevant to tanks. It might be a frontal cleave, relevant to DPS. And then it all sort of falls into place without you even having to pay attention to what actually happens. You can expect what should happen before it happens. Think about that for a second. You can expect what should happen before it happens just by looking at the fucking name of the mob. Oh, my laser matrix. I think that's my laser matrix. Look like it. What an extraordinary thing that some people don't realize. And then when you expect it, expecting what's going to happen is 90% of the battle. It really is. It's hard to be surprised if you expect it to happen. When I come up against crushers, right, I think they're going to try and crush me in some way. I'll be ready for them trying to crush me. That could come in the form of, and this is how I approach new content. I run through it in my head. Oh, I've got a crusher here. What's he going to do? Well, for these in particular, I could say something like, these look like the mobs from Legion that were up on the cliff that used to throw boulders. Yeah, they actually worked exactly the same way. And not only that, if they're trying to crush me, they're probably going to do some heavy melee attack that involves crushing me. And maybe that's something I need, as a tank, I need to use mitigation for, something like that. I like the way we did that with zero communication. I swear to you, not one person said the pig's coming or anything. That was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how that went. That was pretty cool. I like that. So when it comes to being prepared for content, the biggest tip I can give you is, what's the fucking mob called? For real, what is the mob called? Because it probably gives you a hell of a lot of information. Like this guy, even. Ludwig van Torton. Yeah, it's a silly memey name. Cool. What's it likely to do? It's a turtle. It's probably going to do something with shells. Might even spin around. These are all the things I would expect from a turtle, based on cartoons. Blizzard likes to use a lot of pop culture. So a turtle enemy is likely to do all of these things. Oh, look, he's throwing shells. What a fucking surprise, right? What a fucking surprise. Am I surprised by that? No, I wasn't surprised by this. The very first time I saw this on the PTR, I wasn't surprised by anything this did here at all. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now, it didn't hold true for the next guy who had shark arms. Honestly, that guy was so hilarious that I had no idea what to expect, like, at all. I was completely aghast as to what this could do, but then it did Sharknado, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Some land sharks and things. And then I was like, okay. This makes total sense as to what this is supposed to be about. I get it. That's fine. All good, man. All good. So we'll get it out of the way. The next biggest thing is when it doesn't work that way. So what about caster mobs? Caster mobs in particular can be very, very difficult to know beforehand what they're going to do. With most trash, you can drop a list of potentials in your mind about what they should do before they do it. But there are obviously many mobs where that doesn't work. One of them would be Trotrot the Shark Puncher. Okay, what am I going to read from that? is going to do a heavy melee damage or something. That's about it. Like, there's not much I can get out of the name of this. And casters are also the same when they start doing curses, buffing themselves. But there is still clues that you can get from this. One of the biggest clues you can get from this, of course, is the fact that they have a mana bar. Having a mana bar indicates several things. Where's the shark? I'm going to have to pay a little bit of attention here, because realistically, shark management should be my job. So I will do my job to try and... Oh, he's all over it. I got it. There we go. Come on. Yummy. Mmm. So you think? Oh, he's got a shark on him. I'm just paying attention here. Shark management can get a little wonky depending on where they throw them. See if we can get it. There we go. A little close to Sharknado here. We're going to have to sort of run through it a little bit there, which on Fortified ain't too bad. Let's see if we can get this one. Oh, I got it. Lost it. Someone ran near me. Everyone's trying to help, which is very nice. I like that. I like that. In a nice group, people will try and help each other. Which is always handy. Sharknado. Top the tank up. So I'm going to take the shark off him so he can do some damage. Come on. If you don't know, those sharks, they work based on range. This is something you should always test. When you run into content you're not sure about, again, just check what they do by watching what they do. Walk near them. Test the damage. Again, in Heroic and Mythic 0, what a perfect place to do that. Unlikely to kill you. There's Blind Rage. Oh, I see what this Knuckle Duster's doing now. Ah, something called Blind Rage, where it fixates the target. It only took a little while to show it, but there it was. It happened on me. And boss mods are also designed to help with this. So you can figure out exactly what's supposed to happen. So that's how you do it. Anyway, let's get back to caster mobs. Caster mobs are tricky. Caster mobs are named mobs that have no visible sign of what it is they should be doing. I believe that was it's actually the Scrapper that does Blind Rage. So I've corrected myself then. We learned something together. I was just paying attention to what the mobs did. There we go. Caster mobs can be very tricky because working out what the spells do... bit of communication errors to killing the first 2 packs. It's tricky because you don't know what they're going to do. So we get this guy. It's called a Stormcaller. Lightning Bolt makes sense. We've got a Buccaneer. We've got a Ravager. Okay. Okay, now we've got Thundering Squall. What is that? Well, I'm seeing an AoE effect on the floor. Also mixed with a Buccaneer doing Blade Barrage. Also mixed with something called Painful Motivation. Now, I know what it is. Some of you will know what it is. But we also have an Oarsman. This is why this trash pack is notoriously difficult. Because what we have now is several mobs that don't blatantly show what they do until you pull them. And also have a seemingly large number of... Sea Squall is this effect on the floor. That comes from the Oarsman. Right? That causes a lot of people to move, causes a lot of DPS downtime, and a lot of damage should people not do it. Now you can see why this trash pack is a little notorious amongst many for being a bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to roots that mob over there so he doesn't heal because of the infest mechanic. Thundering Squall is the AoE, but Sea Squall is something else. That comes with a different mob. So now we can say the Stormcaller, what he does is he casts Lightning Bolts and he also does an AoE. We now know that for the rest of time. It's as simple as that. Watch what they do. Let them cast. If you're in a safe place where you want to learn how to deal with the trash, let them do stuff. Now we've got an Officer, a Buccaneer. Don't know who did that. Probably someone else. Now we've got a debuff. Oh, Oiled Blade. Healing reduced by 75%. So important to read your goddamn tooltips. This information is given to you by Blizzard. Given to you by Blizzard. So I'm paying attention to the frames. Even if I was DPSing, if I was tanking, doesn't matter. If I see my party frames pop up with something different that I don't recognize, put your fucking mouse over it and read what it says. Oiled Blade now on Shade. That's his healing reduced by 75%. I want to dispel that ASAP. You see how A led to B there? It's very simple. It's very simple, but this information is often obscured from you because in lower content, it doesn't matter. And now we're in a situation where we expect this. So now in a pug, we could say something like, hey, make sure you dispel Oiled Blade. That's what I just did there. I picked up on it. I read what it did. I didn't dispel it instantly, which is also a common mistake. Dispelling things when you don't know what they do is a bad idea. Ask anybody who's ever dispelled Unstable Affliction. Really bad idea to do that. Like, incredibly bad idea. I don't recommend anybody just start dispelling shit because your frames popped up saying you can dispel this. Really bad idea. Find out what it does, and if it's something you want to get rid of immediately, every time after that one time, you can dispel it instantly. But often you'll find things that give buffs. How many people have purged painful motivation off the enemies, despite the fact that it kills them? It kills them. They kill themselves if you put that on. It's a very cool ability. So here, Cannonball Barrage. Right, it's a debuff. I can't dispel it, but this is a great tip for healers, by the way. We know that he has the debuff, and we can pre-heal him. We can throw a hot on him. We can do something. He roots this one. We can roots him. And then we never have to worry about it again, right? We can pre-heal the people with the dots on. Because we can see there is a debuff. They might take some splash. Alright, cool. That's easy enough for us all to deal with. This is how these fights are made to look easy by high-end players. Is because they've done this. They know exactly how to deal with things. Swiftman Saber's coming. It has a timer. I can watch for it. I can get hit by it, but whatever. It's hard to dodge. Cannonball Barrage. Let's try and stack it. If we stack it a little bit, it makes it easier. Nice. Easy peasy. Now one. Oh. F. Oh, that's going in the video. Well done. I could talk about the whole boss again. Excellent work. Alright, welcome to Harlan Suite. I'm actually not sure how Harlan... does he move? Does he do something? So now I'm curious as to Harlan. Does he throw himself or something like that? I don't know. I don't know. So Cannonball Barrage. Again, timers are another important thing. So timers are always here, but I think a lot of problem people have with timers is they're not quite sure what the ability is. And you'll notice I did something there called double stacking. A lot of people refer to this as... shit, I'm going to forget the name of the boss. Root that one, so it's not a problem. A lot of people refer to that as... it was the boss in Hellfire Citadel. It's told to us all the time as the type of movement where you double stack abilities. Always worth checking again. If you don't want to get overwhelmed, a good way of dealing with it is simply to see if you could do things with it. Again, Heroic, Mythic Zero, great place to do it. Okay, I've been targeted by something that falls from the sky. Is there any way of actually countering this? Because it's not going to hurt me in like 1 or 2 cases, right? Oh, interrupting me there. So I've got a little tricky thing to do here. Is I want to do that, and then I want to dive through this. I'm going to bark skin. Then I want to root this guy. And I'm going to come back. And I'm going to pop a Trank after this just to tide everyone over. Trank got cancelled. Oh, this is great, actually. I can show you all kinds of... Most people would panic here. There's no panic needed. So what I'm going to do... I was going to do that. Hold on. Is just top everybody off. My Innovate's not working. There we go. I think it probably had 1 or 2 seconds left. I had a graphical issue there on Innovate, because I was trying to innovate myself, but it didn't work. So we have to go back and kill a bit more extra trash. That's fine. But I hope a lot of the points have come across here about how you don't get overwhelmed. Learn what they do. Ravagers do painful motivation. See how long you get to read this stuff? What does it do? Okay, he's got a buff. What does it do? All damage done is increased by 45%. Inflicting 3% of maximum health is damage every 1 second. It's killing itself. Alright, but we have to take a little bit of extra damage. So as the healer, what's my thought process there? Don't want to dispel it. Fuck no. Got an Enrage. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, it's the doggies from before. They do Enrage. And we got the Oarsman, so he's going to do the Sea Squall, which is that AoE. We don't really want that to happen. We've learnt in this one dungeon near enough what every piece of trash does. There's the Sea Spout. Got interrupted. You can see there. This is how we do this. So that next time we come in here, it doesn't matter if you do it at a level of content where it's not a threat. That's irrelevant. So what we got here? We've got 2 Stormcallers, 2 Officers, so maybe get ready for the Oil Blade, right? We're going to have several Enrages. Alright, so there's a lot going on here. Can feel overwhelming. But does it? No. Alright, so we know the Stormcalls are going to do that. Oil Blade. Let's get rid of it. Again, we're prepared for everything this does. Doesn't make it easy. You know, this trash pack is hard. But at the same time, we're prepared for the dangerous things. There's the Oil Blade. Can't get rid of it. There we go. Got rid of it eventually. It was locked on global cooldown. Haha. Get rid of the explosive. Keep the hots going. And you can see there's an enrage. Let's get rid of it. Oh, spicy. It's res. That happens. It's fine. Not a problem. Get rid of that. We have another res. Because we managed to do a lot of the trash. Shade's getting it. Dispel the enrage. Good job we saved like 3 reses for this one trash pack. It's calculated. You can see. Everything that happened there was expected. Just couldn't deal with the damage. But we weren't overwhelmed by what happened mechanically. That's the point. I think that's a great highlight to what's going on. A lot of people can, especially those who aren't great at spectating WoW, which I think is a fair comment. Not great at spectating WoW. A lot of people who spectate WoW don't see all those things and probably see what happened there as like an ultimate disaster. What a bunch of noobs. No, in fact, we were prepared for everything. We could have done a number of things. We could have CC'd them. If we were going for a higher key, 12 or 13, something like that, then we could have get... This patch is actually really hard. We know everything that happens here. We've got 2 Stormcalls, we've got 2 officers, we've got 2 enraging dogs, right? Loads of things. Cheers, boys. Thank you very much for doing it. So next time, what do we want to CC there? I don't know. Do we want to take the dogs out? Maybe take the Stormcallers out so we're not getting all this AoE and stuff absolutely everywhere. Things like that, right? Maybe we could do all those things and then make it easier because, frankly, even though we know what's going to go on, it's still probably going to defeat us. And that's not great. We don't want that to happen. I hope that helps you out. It's a lot of not being overwhelmed is going into lower content, which is everything we did. I think there's some belief out there that, you know, the top MDI players or the top raiders like just know all this shit. No, we don't know all this shit. We found it out. We tested it. We tried it out. We learned it. When the new dungeons come out later down the line, we know there's some new dungeons coming. We've got the new Mechagon Mega Dungeon. I would seriously recommend you tune into my stream when we do that. And I will intentionally make sure that I show you how we're figuring out what this dungeon does. Whether it's on the PTR or whatever, I will go through in detail how we are working out as much as we can about that dungeon while we can. All right. That's how we do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Love you all. Be good. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to hearing from you on the Twitter. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.